Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be happy. May all be free from diseases. May all see only goodness everywhere. May no one undergo suffering. May there be peace, peace and peace everywhere by God's grace. I have chanted this ancient prayer of Hinduism, which is in Sanskrit. Now it is my duty to give the talk. And the subject of my talk this morning is Jnana Yoga, a philosophical topic, religio-philosophical topic, Jnana Yoga. The path of rationality which will lead one to divinity. That is Jnana Yoga. Yoga means communion. It has many meanings. It is a Sanskrit word. So one meaning is communion. That means this helps one to have communion with divinity. And this path is one of the major paths to reach God. That's what Hinduism teaches. But this is meant for people who are ultra-rational in character. They cannot accept anything which is other than true. But they go from lower truth to higher truth. After coming to this country, I heard that children believe in tooth fairies here. When their milk tooth drops out of their mouth, at that time that tooth is taken out by the parents of their parents and put under the pillows. And the parents say that as you have been a good child, the tooth fairy will come and give you a gift. And when the children fall asleep, then after that, when they wake up, they find that the tooth is gone. That the tooth is gone, but some gift in the form of a $5 bill had appeared there. That is a gift from the tooth fairy. That's what the parents said. And the tooth fairy gives gifts only to good children. So it is a method of instructing their children to be good. They believe in the tooth fairy. Then when they start growing up, they come to know that that was not the truth. Other higher truths take the place of that truth about the tooth fairy. So also we start with lower truths and eventually we end up reaching the higher truths. This is what Jnana Yoga teaches us. In the primitive age, our ancestors had different knowledge about this world. Some of them might have gone to the top of a hill and from there looked out and saw that the horizon was round. And they thought that the earth was like a disc, round disc. And sometimes they would see that at the end of the dish there was water, that means the ocean. So that was their concept of the world. And then when their friends or people whom they knew would die, then their bodies were disintegrated. They were buried, or their bodies were buried or sometimes burnt even. And then strangely enough, when these people those who would fall asleep, they would see those dead people in their dreams. They seemed to be healthy and whole, and they were able to interact with the dreamers. That's why they decided that they are not gone. They live somewhere else after their death. And they come when a person falls asleep and starts having a dream. And at that time they arrive there. But when such a dreamer would wake up, couldn't find those people anywhere. They looked for those people here, there and everywhere, but they are not visible. So where do they disappear? And some of them noticed a high-flying bird, such as an eagle, flying higher and higher and higher, and becoming smaller and smaller. And eventually that bird disappears from sight. So they thought that there is a world high up there which is invisible to our naked eye. And that world they called heaven. And the departed souls go and live there. And only when we fall asleep and start having dreams, at that time they come back to us. And under this disk, there is a region called hell. It is dark and unpleasant. But some people who were not that friendly and good while they were alive, when they die, they go there. And that's what they thought. This is how the idea of heaven and hell came. But there are some countries where people had plenty of time to think. They didn't have to keep busy earning their bread, just as it was the case in Northern Europe and other places. Most of the year, those regions are covered with snow, and it is very difficult to get vegetation there which could be used as food. So life was very hard. But the people in India, they had abundance of food. So they had plenty of time to lie down under a tree because it is a warm country, in the shade of the tree, and think of many things. It is some of them who, by their thinking, came to know certain truths which were not known to their ancestors. So there is a book which contains this message. Karatala kalita amala kabad amalam vidanti ye golam. The earth is just like a plum or myriabelam fruit. It is spherical, which is, the earth is spherical like that fruit. so it is not a flat disk. That's how all the old ideas of heaven and hell had to be got rid of. Then came some other truth afterwards, higher truth. Whatever exists in this world, that is the truth, is no other than vibration in space. Space is being vibrated at different frequencies. And that's how there are innumerable worlds. And those worlds in Sanskrit are called lokos. There are innumerable lokos with different sets of frequencies. So this world in which we live, that is one of those lokos. It is called Earth Loka, Bhur Loka. There are many similar planes of existence with different frequencies of vibration, occupying the same space. Yadidam kincha jagat sarvam prana ejati nisritam. Whatever exists in this world is vibrating in cosmic prana, energy. That is the saying. And then eventually they came to know some other truths, higher truths. The highest truth is they call Brahman. Brahman means larger than the largest. And that Brahman also, about that, the scriptures say that Brahman is ekam eva advitiyam. It is one alone. And there is no duality or multiplicity there. Because it is Brahman from whom this entire universe has evolved. And before this entire evolved, there was no time, space and causation. So that Brahman was beyond time, beyond space and beyond activity. Then one may say, then if that is the case, then how can Brahman be considered the source of this created world, all these different lokos? Then it is said that that is done by Brahman with the help of Brahman's power of magic. And the magic is, in Sanskrit, is called Maya. And that Brahman is beyond duality also. These worlds in which we live, these are the worlds where there are pairs of opposites. If I know darkness, I must know light, and vice versa. It is not possible to know only one. One who is born blind, he does not have any idea that he or she is in perpetual darkness. To know that, she had to know light also. I met one gentleman who was born blind, but by using the Braille method, he was very brilliant. Eventually he got several degrees and then was made the principal of one of our blind boys' high schools in India. And I met him and I asked years ago, do you know what we call light? Then he said, no, not really. Then he said, but theoretically I know what is light. Light is opposite of darkness. Because had he known darkness, then he would have known light. But his knowledge was theoretical knowledge. There are two kinds of knowledge, theoretical knowledge and experiential knowledge. Consider motherly love. From our point of view, that is theoretical knowledge, that our mothers love us. But from the mother's point of view, their love is experiential knowledge. They really know what motherly love is. So also, what we truly are, to know that we need experiential knowledge. Brahman is mentioned as avang manasogocharam, which cannot be described through words, which can be known through the mind. So, and that's what we all are. That is also taught. And there are some sentences in Hinduism. They are called great sentences, or Mahavakyas in Sanskrit. And they all teach the divinity of everything and every being. Divinity is equally present everywhere, but not equally manifested everywhere. That's what is taught. And divinity, that Brahman, is also called Sat Chit Anandam, existence, knowledge, and Anandam. It is hard to translate that word into English, but they try to translate it as bliss, not just joy. Because joy and sorrow, these two form a pair of opposites. It is not that Anandam is not that kind of joy. It is beyond the pairs of opposites. What is it then? Well, in Sanskrit they use a word called Shanti, or peace, to mean that Brahman. What is Shanti? Well, it is like relief from headache. Let us suppose a person is suffering from an intense headache. Then he is in a state of suffering. And then he takes some painkillers. After an hour or so, his headache is gone. Now, in which state is he or she? Is he or she enjoying? The answer is no. Either he nor she is enjoying or suffering. It is in a state of relief where they are. Relief from both. So also is Shanti, or peace. It is like relief from suffering and enjoyment both. That's why this word is used to mean Brahman. Brahman is beyond the pairs of opposites. That's why the Hindu scriptures use this word frequently. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And also, Jnana Yoga teaches that what is real we should accept. And something which is real is eternal and changeless. So is there anything which is eternal and changeless? This world is not eternal and it undergoes change. So it is not real then. But Brahman is real. It is eternal and changeless. That's what the scriptures teach. Scriptures of Hinduism. So, and we are that Brahman. We are changeless. In our day-to-day judgment also we use this definition of reality, changelessness and eternity to judge something which is real. If a person sees a creature such as a young rabbit for 5 seconds, then it changes into a puppy, then a kitten and so on. Every 5 seconds it is changing its form. Then is it really a kitten? Is it really a rabbit or is it really a puppy? It is hard to tell because it is changing all the time. Had it not changed at all, had it remained a kitten all the time, then we would know that it was really a kitten. In the same way, if you see an African elephant standing in your backyard, and you see that for 1 minute only. After that it disappears. It vanishes into thin air. Then you start thinking that African elephant was not really there. But had it continued to exist there for years and years and forever, then could you deny its existence? It was real. Therefore, Brahman is Sat, existence itself. That's what they are trying to say. Through words we cannot describe Brahman. But Jnana Yoga accepts that idea. And Jnana Yoga says that is the only reality. That only reality, Brahman, is appearing as this world. This world is an appearance only. One great Advaitin or non-dualistic philosopher and saint of India called Shankaracharya, he said that the world is like a rope which by mistake is being seen as a snake. But when that mistake is gone, then what will remain is the rope. The rope is the reality, and the snakeness is not real. So the world which we see as it appears to us to be is like the snake. But the reality is Brahman. This is what Jnana Yoga teaches us. We have to remember only this. That is, we are all Brahman. We are all the rope, not the snake. One and the same rope, one and the same Brahman. As the Saint Siddhar Swami says, Brahman is like the ocean and we individuals are like so many waves in that ocean. As long as we are identifying with our forms, we think we are waves. But if that identification is gone, then we'll know that we are the ocean. We have always been the ocean. So also is Brahman. We are always Brahman. Due to ignorance, we think that we are not Brahman. And due to ignorance, we think that we are we. But that word we does not mean anything. That Brahman is beyond I, you and we. All right. With your permission, I would like to end my talk by a chant. Om Kasato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. O Brahman, please take us from non-existence to existence. Please take us from the ignorance of our divinity to the knowledge of divinity. Please take us from mortality to immortality. May there be peace everywhere. Thank you.